Alright guys, I'm gonna tell y'all the story of the worst boat that we ever built. It's actually a dance floor, and the reason the police actually called me at my house because of it. So it's been gloomy and raining all week, so I've been out here in the shop doing some cleaning, and that's how I came across these old pictures and printouts of this first boat that we built. So this is 15 years ago. We were just some dumb kids, and we wanted a floating dance floor that we could hang out on the lake, because all we had was a little bitty boat at the time. And we tried to think of the cheapest way that we could basically build our own homemade pontoon boat. So we got on Craigslist, we found a guy selling empty 55-gallon drums that used to hold cooking oil, and we bought all that he had. Some of these had holes in them, they were still leaking cooking oil out of it. And then I came up with this sketch. It's a frame made out of square tubing, and we thought we could do it in 4 by 8 foot sections, so that you could build this thing modular, and you could put sheets of plywood on top and assemble this raft basically in sections. We built the whole thing in my parents' driveway, and it looked pretty good. So then it was time to go test this thing out. So we loaded it up, we took it to a remote boat ramp at our local lake. And this is a boat ramp on the outskirts of town that no one ever uses, no one was there. And we assembled the thing out in the water and tested it out, and it worked pretty good. So then a few days later, I get a call at my house, and it's a police officer, and he tells me he's with the lake patrol. The officer said that someone from their house had taken pictures of us putting this raft together. They sent the pictures to the lake patrol, got our license plate, and that's how they tracked me down and were able to call me at the house. Now this officer was nice, and he said, look, this thing is obviously not a boat, and if you bring it back out to the lake again, we're gonna have to throw you off the lake. And fair enough, it was just some metal barrels and some wood on top. But we'd spent way too much time putting this thing together to give up, so I thought we could maybe convince them that this was a safe raft and it was okay to bring out on the lake. So I put together a presentation. This is spring 2008, the Motivate Labs Company Raft Project. I asked if I could meet the Lake Patrol at their office, and they said okay, and I brought this presentation down there to show them. I did all the math, so here's the flotation data for a single 55-gallon drum, and then here's the flotation data for the entire raft, and then I made this chart showing how many people it could actually hold safely and how far in the water it would be. So it was 20 people, 150 pounds per person, it'd be 12 inches in the water. So we tried to show them this thing would be safe. And they looked at all of this, they basically laughed and said, this thing still isn't a boat, you can't bring it out on the lake. So the floating dance floor idea was done. So the dance floor sat unused for a while until we decided to buy the Enigma houseboat that you guys have seen. And then we had the idea, why don't we get that dance floor back out and attach it to the back of the boat, and now it's not a separate boat, it's basically just a giant swim deck. So I came up with these drawings to figure out how it would work. It'd be about 80 feet long, and we got to work building a trailer hitch basically for this dance floor. So we used a pintle hitch, and that way the thing could articulate and actually bend in the middle, so when you go turning the boat, it would bend in the middle and actually would turn pretty good. So the first time we used it, we filled the houseboat up. This was back when gas was over $4 a gallon in 2011. And it took us 2 hours to get anywhere on the lake because pulling this thing around, we could only do 4 miles an hour, but it towed pretty good. You could turn and it would bend in the middle. And once we got this thing docked out at the islands, it was great because we had basically a big dance floor. So Nate would get out there, he would DJ. We had a really janky setup. We had some old home theater speakers. We had a used amplifier, an old laptop. And we basically ran an extension cord and a power strip out to this dance floor so that Nate could DJ all day. And at some points we had 20, 30 people on this thing, and it was rock solid. There was nothing wrong with it. It was great. We used it for 4 or 5 years like that. So then we did a version 2 of this dance floor, and we found an old pontoon boat that had nothing on it, and we knew this would pull better in the water.
That's good.
So we've done this before. Got a nice little tow bar and a ring to attach it to the back of the boat.
Good.
You missed a spot. Right.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Hope it floats.
Me too. Do we get a refund if it doesn't float? No? That thing is f***ing dumb looking, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that front tire. Oh, you missed it. That thing needs some air. Yes. Oh, them rollers are good. All right, don't get too much speed. Oh yeah, dude, it's perfect. Oh yeah. I figure me and Grant will ride on this till we get out of here. All right, man, fire this cooch up. Get out of here.
No, it's not.
Hey, you gotta just keep tension on it. Cause it hauls the mail. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a pontoon.
All right, holiday boater, come on.
Easy.
We are gonna wreck into everything.
Cody, go.
Cody, we're hitting.
Oh, hey, don't judge us. This was 10 years ago. Don't act like you haven't run into a dock before, too. I saw it. I heard about it. Well, we're in over the water now. So Bud Light beer had these advertisements on the radio back then, and they were called Real Men of Genius. And one of them was the homemade pontoon boat maker. And this advertisement sounded exactly like our dance floor. So we always wondered if Bud Light maybe saw this thing. That's how they came up with the song.
Today we salute you, Mr. Homemade Pontoon Boat Maker.
Mr. Homemade Pontoon Boat Maker.
What happens when you cross 10 discarded drum barrels with 2 sheets of plywood and a cast-aside barbecue? A pontoon boat.
We're boating and grilling.
It's a boat. It's a dance floor. It's a boat and a dance floor.
We're boating and dancing.
Throw up a string of tiki lights, hit the stereo, power up the blender, and what have you got? Way too much electricity on top of a lot of water.
We're boating and getting electrocuted.
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, oh pirate of the pontoon, because you really shiver me timber.
Mr. Homemade Pontoon Boat Maker.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
So that's the story of the floating dance floor. Google Earth even has it floating out on the lake in a 2012 satellite view. So that just shows how much we wanted to get out on the water that we thought building it out of old cooking oil drums was a good idea. You know, in the beginning, the Lake Patrol kept us from taking that dance floor out on the lake, and I think that's what kind of got us to buy the houseboat in the first place. So I think it worked out for the better. Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking to you guys today. So anyway, I appreciate you guys watching as always. We'll see you on the next one.